vision with imagination. I'll get there.
It has all come so far. Today, our engineers can crash test cars on a computer. If only they could have seen us 40 years ago. We had no idea we were inventing safety science. Most people today know nothing of all this safety pioneering, but I think Mercedes drivers, they know. I think they can feel it.
Hot coffee and steak in front of strangers at 30,000 feet? Not with my old adhesive.
Fix-It-Dent holds stronger than any other adhesive. It even stands up to the hottest liquids.
Now I Fix-It-Dent and forget it.
It'll take sweat to get that dream afloat. So Old Spice deodorant works to stop odor before it starts by killing odor-causing bacteria on contact. 99%. Old Spice deodorant. It does a number on odor.
Everyone has a dream, a vision deep inside.
With all the mutual funds out there, I needed an easy way to help me compare them.
We make it easier to follow your own lead.
With Schwab's free mutual funds performance guide, I can compare track records on over 500 funds.
Always there to give you just the help you need.
Help yourself at Schwab today.
At an airport counter, two cops charge you with being a drug dealer. You're not. Yeah, prove it. All they've got to do is suspect it. 60 Minutes, Sunday.
The Masters. The Golden Bear stuns the golf world and wins his 6th title. Larry Mize needs a miracle and gets one in a spectacular playoff victory. Sandy Lyle comes through with a birdie on the 18th. Nick Faldo triumphs twice in a row in playoffs. Ian Woosnam prevails in a classic duel with Tom Watson. This year, American Fred Couples is dominating the tour like no one has in years, and he promises to make this another memorable Masters. A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS.
Champions, you look to CBS Sports.
This is CBS.
Catch the Twins season opener Monday afternoon at 1:30 on Channel 4.
In the next 60 seconds, you could become a millionaire. Hi, everybody. This is the official Lotto America drawing. Bigger than expected jackpot, nearly $15 million tonight, and you can win it by correctly matching 6 of 54 numbers. Our broadcast being monitored by Ernst & Young. Here we go, 47 the first ball, 47, and then 17. 17 followed by 24, number 24. Check them closely. There is 6, number 6, number 25, number 25. And the last ball, number 4, number 4. Now, if we don't have a jackpot winner tonight, that means on Wednesday you'll be playing for an estimated $20 million. Let's double-check the numbers. You might be our 94th millionaire. 47, 17, 24, 6, 25, and number 4. This is Mike Pace for Lotto America. Thanks for playing. Join us every Wednesday and Saturday night, same time, same station.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Walcher. Next on the 10 o'clock news, a mysterious discovery in Orono. It may be a body. Also, the going rate for a scalp ticket at the NCAA Final Four.
And I'm Cindy Hilger at the Metrodome. Inside the dome, it was hoops fan heaven. And I'm outside right now. We'll have all the highlights from inside and outside. That's all coming up next on the 10 o'clock news.
Times are tough. My money's going down the drain. How can I get ahead?
Call the Investment Connection. How do I get involved in the stock market?
I want to know if there's a safe place to put my money.
Call the Investment Connection. We've got the answers to your investment questions, big or small. It's free and it's easy. Call the WCCO Television Dane Bosworth Investment Connection at 371-2700. You're watching today's WCCO Television with Mike Walsher and Amy Marsalis. This is the 10 o'clock news on Channel 4.
Metrodome's work is done for the night. It's put on 2 great shows and will now get ready for one more in the final 4. Good evening, everybody. I'm Cindy Hilger out here along with Mark Rosen. We are live out here at the Metrodome. That final show is, as we said, Mark, Monday night, the college basketball championship game.
And Cindy, you know, back in January, they had this sort of made-for-TV basketball game on CBS. Let's put the defending national champs against these young kids from Michigan and see what happens.
See what happens.
Well, Duke won that game at Michigan in overtime, 88-85. And after that game, Duke said that's about as good a basketball team as we ever want to face the rest of this year. Well, the storybook will continue. Of course, the final chapter will be here on Monday night when Michigan will get the chance to beat the only team they haven't defeated this year, and that's the Duke Blue Devils. Of course, we just saw Duke narrowly escape Indiana, although it looked like they're going to have a lot easier time of it. 81-78 was the final. Indiana, a great scheme by Bobby Knight in that first half, really threw off Christian Laettner and Duke as Indiana took charge. But the only reason, as we look at the highlights, that Duke was in that game was because of guard Bobby Hurley, who had an assortment of three-point shots to keep Duke in it. And he was really responsible. Laettner really was not a factor, which is hard to believe. In fact, Indiana went 7.5 minutes without a basket. Duke scored 18 straight. Matt Nover cut it to a couple points near the end here, but Duke, all they had to do was hang on to the basketball, and they got a fall at the end, ended up winning it by 3, 81-78. So Duke will have a chance to defend its national championship, trying to become the first team since UCLA back in '73 to do so. Michigan did not have an easy time as well. Cincinnati and their very tough pressing defense gave the young Wolverines all sorts of trouble in that first half. They were down, in fact, the Wolverines by 7 points, but Michigan displayed some composure in that second half and came back. And here's a guy that was on the bench all year. His name was James Voskuhl. Voskuhl started every single game for the Wolverines last year until they recruited all these stars. But Voskuhl was responsible scoring there, saving the play from going out of bounds, and Chris Webber finishing it off. And after the game, Jalen Rose, one of those freshmen, said, yeah, we're cocky, but that's one of the reasons why we keep winning. Timeout, Cincinnati. We had a chance to talk to Jalen.
I mean, you have to be cocky because you can't be on the court expecting to lose, so we expected to win from start to finish.
Jalen Rose from the Michigan Wolverines will have a chance, as we mentioned, on Monday night. What a great matchup going against the defending national champs. Duke will be the heavy favorites, but they're a little tired right now. Christian Laettner could barely get up the court by the end of the game. We're going to have a lot more in tonight's game, including an inside report from Scott Reynolds of what really went on in that Michigan-Cincinnati game a little bit later. But what about all this excitement going on in and outside the Dome here tonight, Cindy?
And for that, we're going to go out to Amy Marsalis, who is just behind us here at the Dome. She's in and amongst the crowd. Amy, it seems like a pretty orderly crowd tonight. Is that not true?
Cindy, you took the words out of my mouth. Real orderly departure tonight. Unlike some of the crowds we've seen after the Super Bowl and World Series, very orderly departure. A lot of the people have already moved out. Traffic is moving smoothly. And a very familiar scene that we've observed before games like this, before championships, people looking for tickets, is already repeating itself. People looking for tickets to the finals on Monday night. Now, we want to show you what you missed if you weren't downtown Minneapolis today. A pretty wild scene. I think people are tired now because they started earlier today, but we want to take you downtown and show you the giant wave of people that moved into downtown Minneapolis today, the fans from all 4 teams coming in. It had some of the elements of a spring break, sun, sweatshirts, and students, but it's a long way from Fort Lauderdale. Still, the energy and enthusiasm of a largely college crowd was contagious. Out-of-towners made the homage here to see college basketball's finest and worship their basketball gods. Those who had the hottest tickets in town had good things to say about their host city.
I love it. I'm in Los Angeles, and it's just as warm, except I can see the air here. I mean, you can see the buildings. You don't have smog, a little traffic.
And we came in about 4 o'clock this morning and came over the bridge and saw St. Paul and Minneapolis in the distance. We were really impressed. It's gorgeous.
4 sisters traveled from Indianapolis, leaving their families behind for a weekend of basketball.
Right, we had to talk our husbands. Yeah, we had left the kids and the husbands at home.
And a basketball fan who made the trek from Atlanta may have wished he traveled alone as he searched for more tickets.
I've got 2, but my buddy and I have 2, but my wife and his wife needs 2. So if we're going to stay married, we got to find another pair.
Galen, like many others, may have ended up here, so close and yet so far away for games 1 and 2.
Start the Final Four with the Bearcats in control.
Oh well, they can say they were at the Dome for the Final Four, almost. Well, it seemed like an awful lot of fans were left without tickets before the game began. We'll have more on that in just a minute or two. Cindy?
All right, Amy, thank you very much. We're going to go a little bit further downtown now, where Brad Good is standing by. I believe he's near Hennepin Avenue, where last night that was just a crazy place to be. Is the same holding true tonight, Brad?
I'll tell you, Cindy, it's the same story. I think it's even more tonight. You know, this whole warehouse district downtown here seems to have been taken hostage by an awful lot of collegiate energy. All that college spirit, as Amy just mentioned, sort of makes it seem like spring break of the North down here, if you will. It is definitely a younger, out-of-town crowd filling the streets, filling the bars and nightclubs down here. Much more so than, say, some of the other events we've seen downtown recently. Bar owners and nightclub owners say that's good news. They say this out-of-town crowd is helping make it better business for them than, say, even the World Series or even the Super Bowl crowd.
Yay, Final Four weekend!
The partying started early downtown and outside as fans took advantage of the warm weather and crowded into Jose's Alley off First Avenue to watch Game 1 and to play a little street alley horseshoes. Michigan fans belted out the cheers at hoops as the Wolverines went on to victory over Cincinnati. But Indiana fans definitely dominate the Twin Cities. They are everywhere. Bars like Grandma's have turned into Hoosierville headquarters, and they've packed them in.
Are you gonna win all the way now? Big team, big team.
Well, at least not this year for Indiana. As far as any problems down here, despite all the crowds down here, appears to be relatively calm, at least at this point. Traffic hassles and congestion, you bet. Hennepin, First Avenue, traffic moving very slowly as more cars come from the Metrodome downtown here. As far as all the bars down here we talked about, as you can see, many long lines to get into any of the bars and nightclubs down here. So, and I think, Cindy, it's going to be that way for several hours to come as more people continue to pour into the warehouse district down here, and we'll get back to you throughout the show and keep you apprised as to what's going on down here.
You know, I was going to say that a lot of folks from the Dome maybe haven't made it down that far yet. I think I'm wrong. Okay, we'll see you a little bit later,
lot of
Brad.
them are here.
Yeah, it sure looks like it. Well, hundreds of basketball fans, thousands from all over the country, were waiting outside the Dome tonight, hoping to buy some tickets. Although some of them were successful, most of them were not, and they wound up watching the game outside on a big screen TV like you're seeing right here.
I brought my son. It's like a vacation. We go almost every year when we can afford it. Come out and try to get tickets. I got him a ticket. I haven't been able to get myself a ticket.
So he's inside?
He's inside. I'm outside.
For good seats, I'd be willing to pay $400 or $500. I'd like to be in there, but I've got kind of a limit.
This will be the first game that I've missed probably in 8 years.
Is that right?
Yes, this is the hardest ticket that there's ever been.
1 or 2 tickets, 1 or two.
This is totally frustrating. He's getting on my nerves.
We're still trying to trade. We're trying to get this a little bit better yet.
A little better than that?
Yeah, it's left field.
And you know, Mark, they really did say this is a tougher ticket to get than the Super Bowl or the World Series. You told me an incredible story a moment ago. Why don't you repeat that?
Well, a Minneapolis police sergeant came up to me and he said the top price he heard, 4 tickets, good seats, great seats, $9,000.
I can't believe that.
I don't know if the man has to worry about his rent. Apparently not. But without question, in all my years I've been covering sports, I've never seen a tougher ticket for an event. Although they do say it will ease up, and for those interested in the championship game, maybe from the losing teams, they might be able to secure a ticket for maybe a couple $100 anyway.
You might run into some Cincinnati fans out here. You're looking at a live shot right now of the Metrodome from our Eye in the Sky chopper pilot Dale Dobish. With that, we're going to toss it back to you back in the studio. Mike Wasser.
All right, Cindy and Mark, and we do have quite a bit still to report on the 10 o'clock news. In just a minute, we'll have the rest of the day's news, including a hand grenade scare in Roseville today. And we'll also see how the scalping business is going during the Final Four. There's a lot of money changing hands outside the Metrodome. Stay with us.
The whole town's talking about Carson's Days.
It's bigger and better than ever.
Really?
Lowest prices of the season, but for only 7 days.
Carson's Days. 7 big days of the lowest prices of the season. Have you ever?
Can't blame her.
On October 27th, 1986, the biggest trade in the history of the London Stock Exchange took place. They traded in their way of doing business. What's most interesting is the computerized system they chose to replace it with. One stock market in America has already used for 2 decades. The NASDAQ stock market.
Cash savings on their corn acres. That's one big reason you see so many farmers switching from dual to Eradicane herbicide. Because with the new lower price of Eradicane, the best buy in herbicides just got better. So you get superior grass control with a little something extra.
Eradicane, the smart start. Oh, yeah.
The U.S. Postal Service will pick up 1 or 100 or 1,000 priority mail and express mail packages for just $4.50. That's per pickup, not per package. And we'll even pick up heavy ones. You'll get express mail next day and 2-day priority mail delivery at some of the lowest prices around. So call for a pickup. It's like getting a moving van for $4.50.
We deliver for you. The whole town's talking about Carson's Days.
Look at these prices. How could it get any better?
Coupons for an extra 10% off almost everything on sale.
Carson's Days. 7 big days of the lowest prices of the season, now through Monday.
My kind of store.
With the NCAA Final Four comes an element of crime that Minneapolis police don't usually have to deal with, and that is ticket scalping involving some very big money. Thousands of people came to the Dome today without a ticket. And as Esme Murphy reports, some were willing to pay just about anything to get one.
The farther from the Dome, the bolder the scalpers. On First Avenue, this man was selling upper-level seats for $200 a piece.
Well, I'll take a couple of them here. So where are these seats? Are these like right on the...
They're in the
right behind the
center
bench?
court. They're in the second balcony.
Front row?
Center court. It's $200 a ticket. How much is is this 400?
Fair deal?
Yeah, you can have it.
Fair enough. Great. Thank you.
All right.
We're in. Hoosiers all the way. Go Bearcats! Go!
At the Hyatt Regency, where NCAA coaches and some media representatives are staying, the scalping was more secretive. We were using a hidden camera when we were offered 2 lower-level seats at quite a hefty price.
What's the ballpark is it going for? 700? Yeah, that's why I say... is that single?
Does he have it?
Yeah.
Now, the actual face value of those tickets I was offered at $700 a piece is $40 a piece. It seems when it comes to the Final Four experience, for some fans, price is no object.
Any extra tickets? Any extra tickets?
Mike Collins came from Washington, D.C. without a ticket. How much is he willing to pay?
I mean, I'm willing to pay $200 if I have to, but...
College basketball is about more than big plays. It's also about big dollars and fans willing to pay the price. With Brad Early and Garrett Young, Esme Murphy, WCCO Television News.
Minneapolis police say they made 23 arrests tonight for scalping, and they also confiscated 94 of those valuable tickets. We have a follow-up now on Stephen Curry. He's the Lakeville man who disappeared for 5 weeks this winter and then reappeared in Litchfield. Well, Stephen Curry's wife says her husband is making progress in a hospital, and he can now remember some of his elementary and his high school days. But he still does not remember her or their children. Carol Curry says doctors are now pretty sure what caused his memory loss.
They have discovered that his amnesia, his memory loss, is not related to a physical cause, and it is not related to a physiological cause, but they are quite certain at this point that emotional stress is what triggered this reaction in his mind.
Carol Curry says her husband should be coming home from the hospital very soon. Police in Orono are investigating what they believe to be a body, which was found in a garbage container tonight. It was wrapped in cloth, and police say it may have been there since last fall. Hennepin County Medical Examiner has been called in, and we'll have more information on that tomorrow. Some residents of Roseville were evacuated from their homes this afternoon after a citizen found a hand grenade in his father's garage. He brought that World War II vintage weapon to a fire station nearby. Well, the firefighters cleared out and then called the St. Paul Bomb Squad. The bomb squad disposed of the grenade safely, and people went back to their homes, and the firefighters went back to their station house. Here's an update on the controversy surrounding a bear researcher and his bear in northern Minnesota. Today, a St. Louis County judge issued a temporary restraining order preventing the state from capturing a wild bear. The state wants the bear because Lynn Rogers, the researcher most familiar with it, is under suspension for alleged sexual harassment. Today's restraining order will hold until next Wednesday. In national news, jury deliberations begin on Monday in the drug trial against Panama's Manuel Noriega. The jury was supposed to start considering those charges today, but that was delayed because of a hassle over parts of the indictment that had been deleted by the prosecution. Noriega himself got up and urged the judge to restore parts of that indictment. The Democrats who want to be the president are trading charges of sleaze. Jerry Brown says Bill Clinton is, quote, the prince of sleaze. Clinton says Brown is a flat-out liar. Clinton got a boost with a semi-endorsement from Mario Cuomo, who says Clinton would be a superb president. Brown and Clinton face off in the New York primary that's coming up, along with the Minnesota primary on Tuesday. And the man who would be Jerry Brown's running mate was leading some political protest today in Washington. Jesse Jackson joined hands with supporters of statehood for the District of Columbia. They joined hands across the Capitol to show their strength for D.C. becoming the nation's 51st state. And thousands of people all across the country did some extra exercise today. They did that to raise money for AIDS research. In Brooklyn Center, the Workout for Hope drew an enthusiastic crowd. The aerobicizers raised money through pledges that they had gathered. The money will go to a national AIDS research facility in California. And on this weekend, the popular exercise does seem to be basketball. Today in Coon Rapids, kids looking to improve their games got some free instruction at the Youth Education Through Sports Clinic. This special edition of the 10 o'clock news will continue in just a minute. We'll go back to the Metrodome to find out the latest there and get the Sunday forecast from Matt Balow.
Years of growing corn have taught us the right way to farm is the responsible way. We live out here, so we're concerned about the products we use. That's why we choose Lorsban 15G. It stops rootworm, and we're comfortable using the easy open bag with the built-in handle and pour spout.
Choose the most widely used corn soil insecticide.
Take care.
Lorsban 15G.
The right choice for all the right reasons.
The bouncing balls to a new time slot. The Minnesota State Lottery Daily 3 and Go for 5 have moved to 6:50 p.m. Now watch exclusive drawings every night at a new time. Live lottery drawings are only on WCCO Television, Channel 4.
With a set. Here's the set by the right-hander. The pitch to Mack. Swung on line to the right from base hit. Tweet and Seiko on the line. Herbert has scored. Davis has scored. Harper's being waved in. It's a double from Mack, and 3 runs are in. 7-4 Twins.
Twins baseball on WCCO radio. Hoop Heaven, an NCAA championship special, Monday at 6:30 on Channel 4.
And we're back live out front of the downtown Minneapolis Metrodome, where Matt Balow is standing by as well. Matt, we sure had a nice day for all the out-of-town visitors we have in the Twin Cities, didn't we?
Boy, we have really had some very nice weather for everybody to come in. And actually, the weather that we had today, beautiful as it wasn't all that unusual for this time of year. Right now, we've got some flags behind me that aren't blowing around in the wind very much, but still some fairly pleasant weather this evening. A lot of people starting to leave the downtown area now, so traffic a little bit congested. You're looking at a live picture of traffic around the downtown area. 51 was the high today. A beautiful day out there. 2 degrees above the normal, which is now 49. 29 was the low. We've had no precipitation. Right now, some partly cloudy skies. The temperature's 41, the dew point 24, the relative humidity 50%. We have a southeast breeze right now that's at 8 miles per hour. Temperatures are starting to drop off now across the central part of the state. Temperatures mainly in the 30s and 40s across Minnesota, but there are some warmer temperatures out to the southwest. 50s right now, still 61 over in Pierce, South Dakota. That warmer air is going to move in tonight and prevent us from dropping off too much further. And satellite pictures over the past 24 hours show that while we enjoyed a beautiful day, cloud-free day, some clouds have been on the increase back in the Dakotas, and those clouds have been moving to the east. We'll see a few of those clouds tonight, more of those clouds tomorrow. Right now, there's a storm system out in the Dakotas. It's in the western Dakotas, and that storm system is heading in our direction. It won't affect our weather much for most of the day tomorrow, but over the next 24 hours, as that storm approaches, it will give us an increase in the clouds tomorrow afternoon and evening, give us the chance for a few showers as well, possibly a thunder shower, but we'll be in the warm section of the storm tomorrow, and that means that high temperatures tomorrow should be right around 60 degrees here in the Twin Cities, 50s across the central part of the state. A live look right now at, we'll go to the forecast. Partly cloudy, 34 degrees for a low temperature tonight, a southeast wind at 5 to 15. Then for tomorrow, a day away from a little basketball around here. Mostly sunny. It'll be windy at times and warmer, a high of 62. South to southwest winds 15 to 25. Then for tomorrow night, becoming mostly cloudy. A chance of showers or a thunderstorm tomorrow night. The low temperature 38 degrees. And then as we move into Monday, turning partly cloudy later on in the day, 57 for the high temperature. And the extended outlook for the period Tuesday through Thursday is calling for little in the way of precipitation, and temperatures remaining generally a little bit above normal, about 2 or 3 degrees with highs in the 50s and overnight lows in the 30s. And what I was going to mention is that there are a few showers out to the west right now in western Minnesota and some sprinkles. Not all of it's hitting the ground. Some of that's heading in our direction, but our chance for showers won't be till later on tomorrow night. And one other thing, Cindy, this is daylight savings time. Don't forget to turn your clocks forward 1 hour tonight as we borrow an hour of sunlight from the morning and tack it onto the afternoon.
And we also lose an hour of sleep.
That is true, yes.
Okay. Thanks, Matt. Well, the focus of activity has shifted from the Metrodome down to the Warehouse District in downtown Minneapolis, and that's where Brad Good is standing by for a quick update on what's going on down there. Brad?
Well, Cindy, you're looking at pictures right now of First Avenue here. Traffic is building up again down the Warehouse District as more and more people find their way down to the bars and nightclubs here from the Metrodome. And as I mentioned a little earlier in the newscast, the crowds are incredible down here, all the young people. It feels like spring break here in Minneapolis, and there are long, long lines to get into any and all the bars. In fact, standing up here in a van, people keep asking me what bars to go to. So a lot of people down here, and I'm sure they'll be down here for quite some hours to come, Cindy.
I'm sure you're saying no comment, right, Brad?
Right.
Brad, did you give me any suggestions where to go?
No,
down in the Warehouse District? I don't want to mention any names, I'm sure.
Oh, you've done enough, Mark. Enough. Let's talk sports, okay?
Well, we got a great game in store for us on Monday night, but can't escape the excitement of what we saw tonight. Yeah. Compared to the Super Bowl, I'm telling you what, this was fun. We're going to have all the highlights and a lot of inside stuff coming up next in sports.
Fun.
An important announcement to taxpayers.
The new federal tax withholding rates will affect you. In return for a few extra dollars in your paycheck now, your income tax refund will be less next year. Or even worse, you will owe the government money.
To keep your refund where you want it, you must submit a new W-4 form to your employer. Come to any H&R Block office now and we'll prepare it free. Absolutely no charge.
We think you should choose whether you get a refund, not the government.
You want to know where to get a great deal on glasses? How about pearls, 30 to 60% off sale? Every frame in the store is on sale. Every lady's frame.
Every men's frame.
Every kid's frame. Every frame is 30 to 60% off regular price. You don't even need a coupon. 'Tis a far, far bigger sale than Pearl has ever had before. But hurry, the sale will soon be history.
For years, if you wanted a beautiful, healthy lawn, you had to collect your grass clippings in a container like this. But Toro recycler mowers cut without bagging, turning clippings into fine pieces that become a natural fertilizer, not thatch. So, for a beautiful, healthy lawn today, you don't have to put your clippings into this container. You can simply put them into this one. See the complete line of Toro recycler mowers at these Toro dealers.
24,000, 36,000, 48,000 a year. Where is everybody?
At the copier. Which is why Ricoh created a super efficient copier that automatically feeds, copies, sorts, covers, and staples reports for about $15 a day. So your employees can get back to work on the things you hired them to do, like putting your company on top.
Improve your productivity with a Ricoh copier from Metro Sales. Call 861-4000.
You're looking live at the downtown Minneapolis Metrodome, where we are, Mark Rosen and I are sitting perched on top of bathrooms. We'll be very blunt about it outside. You were inside for both games, Mark, and I know this is perhaps your favorite event to cover.
Well,
what was it like?
I was just sitting here watching that scenic shot we had. I'm thinking about sitting up here and, geez, are we covering the World Series, the Super Bowl, or the Final Four? And the Metrodome has housed all three in the past 6 months. And there's something very special. I think this, they say, is perhaps the best day in sports because you get to two tremendous games for the price of one. And I just recall seeing a lot of people like almost falling asleep by halftime of the Super Bowl. And just think last Saturday it was Christian Laettner hitting that last-second shot to beat Kentucky. It was last Sunday when Michigan overcame Ohio State in overtime, and bam, the teams are here, and you have an opportunity to capture all the pageantry and the excitement, the cheerleaders, the bands, the alumni, everyone involved in a terrific 4-hour exhibition. And we certainly, everyone who got in there got their money's worth, even if you paid about $2,000 a ticket to get in. Well, we do know that Duke will have an opportunity to defend its national championship on Monday night by virtue of a victory over an Indiana team that was ranked second for most of the year, right behind Duke. The final was 81-78. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of this game because it was all Indiana in the first half. In fact, they led 37-27. Everyone's talked about the freshman of Michigan. Look at that freshman, Alan Henderson of Indiana, gave the Hoosiers a 37-27 lead. But watch what happens. Bobby Knight gets a technical foul. Ted Ballantyne of the Big Ten called the technical on Bobby. This was a key point of the game. The Hoosiers still led, but Duke soon thereafter took the lead and never gave it up. It was Bobby Hurley's three-pointers that really made the difference for Duke tonight because Christian Laettner was not much of a factor. Hurley led Duke with 26 points. Cherokee Parkston came off the bench, another star of the future, and for the present for that matter, scoring on the dunk. 58-45, looked like it was all Duke, but Indiana never gave up. Matt Nover hit a three-pointer in the closing seconds, but Indiana did not have any timeouts at this point, and all Duke really had to do was inbounds the pass. They made a free throw to ice it, 81-78, and at the end of the game, old friends, the mentor, Bobby Knight and Mike Krzyzewski shaking hands. It's tough to play and coach against each other, but actually they didn't exchange many words there, didn't they? And after the game, we had a chance to talk with Bobby Hurley and Bobby Knight. This is what they had to say about that second half comeback.
And as hard as Indiana was in the first half, and that's usually what we do the best. We outwork teams, and we just weren't doing that. And I think that's why you saw our defense pick up so much early on in the second half.
I thought that they came out and played really, really well to start the second half. They were very good defensively, and we just had a tough time, a really hard time getting on track.
As we mentioned, the only team that Michigan now has not defeated this year is Duke, and they'll have their opportunity on Monday night because the Fab Five made it to the Final Four. And now playing for number one. The Michigan Mission continued with a 76-72 win over a very tough Cincinnati team. The Bearcats, in fact, controlled the tempo in the first half, forcing the young Wolverines' offense into a lot of turnovers. Nick Van Exel, the catalyst. He hits Herb Jones off the steal right there. But Steve Fisher kept the composure of the five freshmen, and although Cincinnati enjoyed a halftime lead, the Bearcats just could not take over, mainly because Chris Webber is such a force. His dunk ended the first half. He had 16 points. In the second half, Michigan showed some more strength, as in bench strength, as in James Voshko. His three-point play helped put the Wolverines over the hump and into the finals. Here's some teamwork and raw talent that really identifies Michigan. Webber, the fellow freshman Jimmy King for the capper, a 4-point Final Four win over Cinderella Cincinnati, and Michigan's in the finals.
They got a pretty good balance. You know, most of the players, you know, were over 12 points, and, you know, that was pretty good for 5 freshmen.
That's a very spectacular group of guys, you know, personally on and off the court, because they're not scared of anyone, you know, and that's a lot to do with your heart and determination, and they have both.
Yeah, there was a lot of talking going on between those two teams, but it was all part of the game tonight. Scott Reynolds got inside what was happening and a lot of the strategy involved with that first Michigan-Cincinnati game. And we go to Scott for his report. Scotty?
Mark, Cincinnati thought that the style of basketball it had played all year was the perfect style to make these Wolverines look like the freshmen they are. And it worked, but not for long enough. The Bearcats clawed their way to a 7-point lead during the first half with their defensive pressure all over the court. The Wolverines admitted that they paid the price for trying to make spectacular plays against it and that they'd never seen such an effective amoeba defense.
Oh, yes, no doubt. I mean, that pressure at the half court was tremendously hard to break.
But the pressure that led to Cincinnati's 3-point halftime lead didn't do the trick in the second half.
In the first half, it was great. Second half, it wasn't too great. We caused 12 turnovers in the first half and converted, you know, 16 points. But in the second half, they turned it over, but we didn't convert as much, and that hurt us.
But Michigan did convert, with plenty of help from a former starter, James Voskuhl, who's seen a lot of the bench since the Fab Five arrived.
That's why we've been winning, because people don't cry and moan about the position they accepted, and they take it and play like a man.
He can shoot the ball well. So, I mean, he's played. It's not like we drug him off the street and brought him in. He can play.
It wasn't like they blew us out. You know, we had a chance to win, and they just got the better of us today.
Tomorrow, the Fab Five will get ready for the title game and maybe pay for another haircut.
You know, I had to go for it, you know. We're going to try to get another player to get it tomorrow.
So maybe one more Michigan head gets shaved tomorrow, but if these Wolverine freshmen keep playing the way they have been, Mark, they'll be cutting nets instead of hairs on Monday night here at the Metrodome.
You know, everyone keeps talking about the freshmen, but these guys are about as much freshmen as we are, Scotty. That considering the number of AAU games and summer league games and the competition they've played in, they are more like seniors out there on the court, although they really are enjoying the experience. So the big dance now has become a two-step. It will be the Michigan Wolverines on Monday night, playing the Duke Blue Devils for the national championship tip-off at 8:22 on Channel 4. We will have a pregame special 6:30 on Monday, and tomorrow night at 10:35 on Rosen Sports Sunday, we will have a wrap-up of today's action along with a preview, along with Dale Brown, the head coach of LSU, who will talk a lot about what happened with Shaquille O'Neal, his prize junior, who is now going to turn pro. Well, there's some other sports news tonight. In hockey, Lake Superior State won the national championship tonight. The final score 5-3 over the Wisconsin Badgers out in Albany, New York. We have some highlights from that game here. Jason Zent scored for Wisconsin here to make it 3-3 as the Badgers were trying to really pull off an upset here. The Badgers were not expected to be here, but Lake Superior State, the team that beat Minnesota last week, came up with a big go-ahead goal here. Brian Ralston scoring it. They hit an empty netter, and the CCAH champions from Lake Superior State end up winning the national championship. That final was 5-3. Well, the Twins wrapped up their spring training with a shutout, but don't get too excited about it. They beat Portland, their AAA team today, the Portland Beavers. The Twins won it 8-0, beating up Willie Banks. He must have been a little upset about being sent down yesterday, because Banks gave up 9 hits, 6 runs. He had 4 walks, a lot of trouble. Banks lost a shot at the Twins rotation to Pat Mahomes, his good buddy. The Twins will practice tomorrow in Milwaukee, then open the season against the Brewers Monday afternoon. RJ Fritz is in Milwaukee, and you'll have the latest on what the Twins are up to. We'll have that report tomorrow night as well. Lots going on in sports. To think of the Twins as world champions being sort of an afterthought right now, considering they're opening their season on Monday.
Haven't been many busier days in the sports department than Monday will be.
How about a busier year?
That's true.
It's been nonstop.
We'll be back with the final word in just a moment.
There is a place in this universe where both heaven and hell share the same space for a few short miles. A perfect vacuum where great cultures once clashed. And where the ashes of that immense history still dust a landscape lodged forever between past and present. This summer, Come to a land where the wind still carries the echoes of distant times, and where they say at sunset, warriors still circle dancing flames, and rough riders still range the buttes that look down over the cottonwoods, that sigh ever so sweetly in the winds of North Dakota's Badlands.
There's nothing else like White Castle hamburgers. And here's one of their taste secrets. Would you believe a White Castle hamburger ranch and 100% U.S. beef cows with 5 holes in them?
Yeehaw, Don. Those 5 holes let the steam-cooked onion flavor burst through for that nothing else like it taste.
Holy cow, partner. And would you believe Trilicious savings? Fish, 55 cents. Chicken, 55 cents. And double hamburger, 65 cents. White Castle, it's like nothing else. Nothing.
Well, before we leave tonight, Mark, any final thoughts about the Duke-Michigan matchup?
Well, I think Michigan's just going to go out and have a lot of fun on Monday night. These kids have to be saying, listen, we may have 2 or 3 more opportunities maybe to get this far. The pressure will be on Duke. They know that, and these kids are feeling no pain. This is the one team they wanted since they lost to Duke in overtime back in January. So,
do you think they can shut down Christian Laettler like Indiana did, especially at first tonight?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's really going to be possible for Laettler to have 2 bad games like that in a row. But it's not to say Michigan can't upset them, though, because I think they're going to play a lot better than they did tonight as well. But Duke looks like they might be a little bit tired, and they're also missing one of their best players with an injury as well.
Yeah.
Now, coming up, as we mentioned, tomorrow night, 10:35 on Rosa Sports Sunday, we will be live from the Hyatt Regency, along with Dale Brown, the head coach of LSU, to talk about the championship game on Monday night and a lot more. And then our championship game special on Monday at 6:30. A lot in store live from the Metrodome here. Don Shelby will join us, and probably he'll need about 25 minutes to explain why he picked Cincinnati to win the national championship. But we're looking forward to that on Monday as well.
And
Cindy.
we should also mention Ralph John Fritz picked Cincinnati as well.
You could mention that.
Yeah. That'll do it for us tonight live from the Metrodome. For Mark Rosen, I'm Cindy Hilger. Good night.
Hello and welcome to the Minnesota State Lottery's official Daily 3 drawing. Tonight's drawing is being audited by the accounting firm of Schechter, Dock & Cantor. The Minnesota State Lottery official tonight is George Robke. Our first number is 0. The second number is 6. And the third number is 8. The Lotto Minnesota jackpot keeps on climbing. Tonight's jackpot is worth an estimated $15 million. Catch the live drawing at 9:59 Saturdays and Wednesdays only on this station. The second finalist for Monday's Daily 3 Spin is Pat Yales of St. Paul. Join us live at 6:50 Monday night to find out who our third contestant will be and what the spin will let them win. Again, tonight's Daily 3 numbers for April 4th, 1992 are 068. Numbers drawn are not official until validated and certified. Good night and good luck.
Today, Nature World brings us to residential America, home of Cub Cadet lawn tractors, like this 1330. A common sight in these grassy areas, Cub Cadet lawn tractors can easily be recognized by their distinctive markings and features, like a pivoting cast iron front axle, electric PTO, and a welded steel frame. The 1330's mulching kit lets you care for your environment by disposing of grass clippings naturally. Appearing in your neighborhood soon, Cub Cadet, working overtime.
This is the bottom line. This is where all the decisions I made during the year pay off.
There's one decision you know you can always count on. Counter insecticide.
The choices I make early in the season need to be right.
Test prove nothing protects your corn like Counter for stronger, healthier roots that pay off in the highest possible yields.
I've got too much at stake to take chances.
Our roots run deep.
Your Daily 3 ticket could be your second chance to win. So send it in to the Daily 3 Spin. It's another shot at winning thousands of dollars, and it comes around twice a week. So watch the Daily 3 Spin every Monday and Thursday during the Daily 3 Drawing Show. Send it in and go for the spin.
A cop is convicted on the testimony of the same men he was investigating. Before he goes to prison, watch the next Inside Edition.
Monday night at 10:35 on Channel 4. More on Sunday. Sunday morning at 9:30 on Channel 4.
At Wicks Furniture, it's raining bedding and great bedding savings on famous names like Sealy, Simmons, and Spring Air. Full, queen, and king size, all sizes, one low price. Special purchase Spring Air, just $89.98 each piece. Plus, next day delivery guaranteed on all in-stock bedding. And not a penny due till October, same as cash, with a Wicks charge.
Better than ever, Wicks Furniture.
At Burger King, we don't serve billions, we serve individuals.
This individual sometimes wants a really good deli sandwich.
Great idea. At Burger King? Tell us, what do you say?
Roast beef, hot, real hot.
Maybe not. How about turkey, tender and juicy?
Mix it up.
Hot ham and cheese, please!
With 4 new deli sandwiches, there's no right way, no wrong way. Just your way, right away.
And make it snappy to go! Your way, right away, at Burger King now.
DHL was making express deliveries overseas before Federal Express was even in business. With a head start like that, we can simply do things others can't. DHL, faster to more of the world.
You've seen them at the auto show. Over 344 new cars and trucks, but only one dealer can offer you 5 of the top 10 sellers. Your Ford dealer, like Ford Taurus, the best-selling American car, and only car in its class offering driver and passenger side airbags. Right now, buy a new 92 Ford Taurus and get up to $1,200 in total savings. That's right, $1,200, including $500 cash back direct from Ford. You ask for American quality, your Ford dealer delivered with 5 of the top 10 sellers. Test drive one today.